The Magicians, All the King's Men by Rachel Lawson. The Watcher was seated on a park bench writing an incident report. The Watcher was watching a man with a pram with a newborn baby in it. At 1 a.m., they entered the park. 1:01, they walked to the lake. At 1:02, they sat on the grass and fed the ducks. The baby appeared to enjoy seeing the ducks fed by his companion. The Watcher walked up to them. "Hello," said the baby's companion to the man. "Hello," said the Watcher nervously. The babysitter continued to feed the ducks and ignore the Watcher. "Give me the baby," said the Watcher firmly. "What did you say?" asked the babysitter, not sure what the Watcher had said. "I said to hand over the baby," said the Watcher. The babysitter saw a gun being pointed at him by the man who had been watching them. "You don't want to do this, mate," said the babysitter. "I know who you are and who he is," said the man with the gun. "Then why would you want him?" asked the babysitter. "Hand him over or I'll shoot," said the man. "You're not immortal, Mr. Alexander. Give him to me, now." The babysitter shook his head and the Watcher pulled the trigger of his gun. The babysitter was shot, hurt badly, and given a ransom letter to the baby's assumed great-grandfather, the Emperor of the universe. "I'm sorry, my Emperor, Dad, someone has kidnapped baby Morgie," said the babysitter to his and the baby's father. The badly injured man had teleported to him. He was very weak and couldn't fight to save the baby. "Morgan, are you all right?" asked the Emperor. "No," said Morganite, collapsing to the ground. In his hand, they found the ransom letter. The Emperor teleported the injured man to the hospital to be helped. When Morganite awoke, he heard a voice say to him, "I'd recommend you feed yourself to the ducks next time you feel like feeding the ducks with the baby, Morganite." Lakelandite. Morganite's brother scoffed. "How do you know?" asked the still groggy Morganite, getting over sedation from his operation. "How do you know where I was when baby Morgie was kidnapped?" asked Morganite. "You were seen," said Lakelandite sadly. "Seen?" said Morganite, puzzled. "You were outside a busy library with a big window looking out on the area you were in. Of course you were seen," said Lakelandite. Their father walked into the room. "Hello, Dad, have they found Morgie?" asked Morganite. "No," said Fred, their father. "Hello, Morgan. He gave me a letter for you." "What did it say?" asked Morganite. "The kidnapper wants me for Morgie. He hates me. He thinks I'm an autocrat. He thinks I'm Morgie's great-granddad, the king of the earth," said Fred, who was the king too. Fred was their father, a time traveler born as his grandson, who was known as the father of Morgie and Lakelandite. Morganite was a time traveler too. He was Morgie as an adult. "They knew Morgie would be all right. We were really worried about you. We nearly lost you," said Fred. "We have lost me. I was kidnapped," said Morganite, who was really worried about his younger self. "How is Mum taking this?" asked Morganite. "She's taking it badly. Blake's looking after him," said Fred. Blake was the younger version of Fred, who was considered their father. As such, he was their father too. "Can you remember anything about the kidnapper?" asked Lakelandite. "No. I was too young to remember anything about this. I wondered why I have an aversion to ducks," said Morganite. "Interesting, but I meant you, not him," said Lakelandite. "Oh, sorry, he was average height, average looking, average weight and," said Morganite. "Average," said Fred. "Yes, for a Venusian," said Morganite. "He's from Venus?" said Fred, shocked. "Yes, he had a Venusian accent, but he was dressed as a human," said Morganite, who was the Prime Minister of the universe and had met many Venusians before as a politician. "I'll go to him," said Fred. "Are you going to commit harikari?" Lakelandite asked. "If I must," said Fred. "I like that idea," said Lakelandite. "You would," said Morganite. "He left a phone number to call him on," said Fred. Fred called the kidnapper and arranged to swap himself for the baby. He bought Lakelandite and Morganite to look after Morgie. "Are you ready for the trade?" Fred asked nervously, not sure what would happen after the trade. "Yes," said the Venusian. "Any tricks, and the baby dies." "No tricks," said Morganite nervously. "I'll put him down, here," said the Venusian, putting the baby down and walking backwards. "Ready now, come to me, king." Fred walked over to the Venusian, who shot him dead. The king dropped dead. The Venusian shot the baby, killing it. Lakelandite looked at Morganite, puzzled. He was still there. "Who are you?" asked Lakelandite. Later, said Morganite. The Venusian shot Morganite, killing him. Lakelandite knew it was an ambush. Now he teleported behind the Venusian, nearly being killed himself, and broke the Venusian's neck, killing him. Lakelandite looked puzzled over the room full of dead people, not at all sure what he'd say to his stepmother. He walked up to his dad's body and kicked it. A grim reaper walked out of the shadows and complained about him not needing to be violent to the dead. Then do your job, snapped Lakelandite cruelly. I will, just be patient, moaned the reaper, walking over to Fred, touching him and disappearing, and Fred's body stirred, waking up healed. What happened? Asked Fred, crying, seeing that everyone else was dead. It was an ambush, said Lakelandite, and I was the only survivor. How come Morgie and Morganite are both dead? I thought they were the same person, asked Lakelandite. I don't know, said the puzzled, grieving father. A reaper appeared. Have you come for them? Asked Fred, who was the king of the reapers, to a strange one he had never met before. Something like that, said the reaper. The reaper walked over to the body of Morganite, touched him, and went poof. Morganite healed and got up. Who are you? Asked Fred, confused. Wait, said Morganite. For what? Grumbled Fred. A baby reaper crawled over to Morgie and touched him, poofing healing and bringing life to the dead baby. Morgie gurgled and crawled happily over to Fred, who picked him up. How? Asked Fred. We inherited your habit of dying and coming back to life, said Morganite. You did? Morgie was so cute. I've never seen a baby reaper before, said Fred. He hasn't grown up. His reaper soul is only a baby, said Morganite. They left the scene of the carnage to take Morgie back to his worried mother.